And we are live. What's up, folks?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dustin Garman with another episode of Tell Us About Yourself with my co-host.
TB.
You might want to throw a chair at him.
No, don't throw. No.
And today-
no, chair.
Plenty of chairs. But our special guest today, and to be honest, I am very excited with this episode, is none other than Chris Bridges. How's it going, Chris?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's no problem, buddy. It's a pleasure. I just want to start off today with announcements. Of course, always remember Bob Dunn. Also, as this fellow over here will, Chris will mention here in a little bit about the details of this Saturday, the Veterans Tournament is going to be this Saturday, and I'll let him explain that in a little bit. But not sure if there's. Oh, I'm gonna congratulate the Dark Prince, Mikey Nichols, for his win at PAX Unplugged. Congratulations, buddy. All right, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was so pumped to have you on here. Talking to you the other day, and coming into the fold, like I was saying before we went on air, I kind of had to, I guess, learn names and yada yada. There's a bunch of newer people.
Yeah.
And I was hearing Chris Bridges a whole lot, in which I started playing with you like on Mondays and Thursdays and stuff like that. And getting to know you, you seem to be like a really, pretty swell guy. So it's an honor to have you on here.
I guess it depends on who you're talking to.
There's always somebody, but but I wanted to start off by saying I actually want to say that without a doubt I highly respect you for what you're doing with the veterans tournaments and just having the veterans title. I think, to be honest with you, me personally, I put that way over the world heavyweight. I think that means a whole, hell of a lot more. But getting into that, so what came about the veterans title?
Well, when I went to Origins, I roomed up with Brock. Why is his last name escaping me? Chibi, help me out.
Carson.
There's a couple of Brock.
The one from Jersey, I think it's Jersey.
Carson.
Oh my gosh. I don't want. Yeah, Brock Carson. So me and Brock were rooming together, and we started talking about we were he's a Marine, and I'm in the Navy, so there's always that like ribbing each other about it because the Marines are technically a department of the Navy. So I always say, what's it like to be in the Navy, to the Marines and stuff. So, but we were joking around with each other, and he was actually talking about the idea that he had put out like a year or two ago about actually having a veterans belt. And I was like, well, let's do it then. Like, what are we waiting on? I'm very interested in that. Like, regardless if I ever win it, it'd be really cool. And the concept is that, someone's wearing a belt that's got veterans in big letters across it. There's one thing for somebody to get pulled into a card game about wrestling, but if a veteran sees it that likes wrestling, then that's just a whole nother reason for them to come and play. If they have, for a belt that's specifically for veterans. And so that's what it was. I just hit the ground running. I was all like, well, let's just figure out a way to, we'll get some donations and we'll come up with a drawing and we'll get it figured out. And then I just started doing it, and it just took off.
And having these tournaments and stuff, man, it's pretty cool. And just, like I said, the meeting itself. And of course, I just want to say thank you for your service. I always like to say that, I always like to say that the gratitude that you deserve, us as citizens, we're in debt. So I appreciate you for your service, buddy.
No problem.
But yeah, the veterans tournament itself, and we were getting into Saturday, and we were kind of talking. I was talking to you just in private messages and stuff like that. Can you give a rundown on that tournament, like how to separate the regular players from the veterans?
Well, right now, as far as like, it's kind of like a trust thing, because eventually, like the first one we didn't check. I know for a fact that, it kind of came down to the point of like, we'll wait and see who's going to win. And then, if we're going to check out the winner and everything like that. I've had a couple of people actually send me proof that they were veterans, which is kind of what I want everyone to do at some point, it's like, but at the moment, right now, the only, Evie, which he is the first contender for the title. He's shown me that he's a veteran, and so it's kind of just coming down like a case by case basis. But I've made it very clear that if we catch you trying to be a veteran when you're not, that it's gonna, like, I'm gonna make it really hard for you. Like, it's not something we take lightly as a veteran. So, um, but yeah, so we just basically ask, just, be honest, and we're gonna check anyway. I've had, like I said, I've had people just tell me just straight up. But like, the one question that I keep asking is, can anybody play in the tournament, or is it only veterans? I'm like, yes, anybody can play in the tournament. Like, as far as like, everybody can sign up. Everybody in the whole LFF can sign up, but the only people that's going to get a shot or get a shot for the shot is a veteran.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that rank system that you have. Like the highest, basically in a tournament. Like, say you got the top 4 and like a veteran's in the top 4, he would get that shot, or maybe a veteran in the finals, or
Well, we
basically
can have
the highest.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Every single veteran can get put out at the very beginning, but whoever won the most matches and strength of schedule and all that stuff, we'd have to figure it out. But we all could be at the bottom. But whoever the highest ranking veteran out of that group is going to be the one that gets the shot. Like we all could be at the very bottom, get put out first, and there be no veterans going from top cut on, and there can still be a veteran that got put out, and still win, still get a title shot. So, we wanted
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want it to be like a veteran had to win, because the chances of so many people signing up and a veteran winning, of course, Eevee ended up doing it, but for the first one out of 20 some odd people that we had, but I just wanted to make sure that a veteran got what the whole concept of the tournament was.
Nice. And also, I wanted to kind of get in, like I mentioned earlier, coming back into the swing. When did you start playing Super Show?
Last year in Huntsville. What was it? April, I think. Whenever Huntsville Comic-Con was, I was walking around and I came by the booth, and Bob Dunn and Jeremy was standing there, and I think Jeff McPeak and McGriff, they were all kind of standing around talking, and I was like, "What's this?" I like wrestling. And then Bob just kind of stepped up and started talking to me, and I just started talking about like everything I remember, what I remember, and what I liked from old wrestling, because I haven't watched wrestling in forever. I couldn't even tell you like a handful of the people that wrestle right now, but I enjoyed wrestling a lot, whenever I was younger. So Bob just started talking to me about the game, and I was like, okay, well, this is the first day of the con, so I'm going to be here every day. I'll come back and we'll talk about it. And then I came back and talked about it, and they showed me how to play and stuff, and I was like, well, my wife's about to get real mad because I'm probably about to spend a bunch of money on this game. And because it was really fun, I like the whole concept of it, and the whole idea about getting your own character in the game and everything. So then that's what it was. And then they had a tag tournament on Sunday. I was like, I'll come back and watch, and hang out, because I thought there was going to be more tag teams, but there was only I think it was 3. But Bob needed a partner, and I was like, I'll play with you. So me and Bob played Hold Line Harry and his daughter, and then and we won. And then we played McPeaks, and we won. And then we went and played the last year's champion, which was Practice Site. I'm sorry, it wasn't Practice Site. It was
the Lucha Maniacal
Uberstar. and then he played with what's the guy's name that does the South Wrestling? He's got a character in the game. I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, he was, since Lucha Knuckles Uberstar's partner wasn't there, he chose that guy to be his partner, and then me and Bob ended up winning. So Bob and I undefeated in Huntsville, or at least I am anyway, with a tag team tournament. So it was pretty cool.
Basically, I see that as a warning. Come to Huntsville.
Huntsville is
Come to
definitely
Huntsville.
one of the
And
most enjoyed conventions. It's definitely become bigger and bigger since its start.
It's going to be even more. It's going to be even better. We're going to have at least 5 or 6 more people that we didn't have last year come, it for sure. And I think with the announcement that we saw today of Mick Foley coming to Huntsville Comic-Con, there's going to be a lot of people show up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I plan on it. I'm going to try at least.
Also,
So,
real quick. If anyone has questions
go
they
ahead,
would
go
like
ahead,
to
bud.
ask for Chris Bridges, they can type them in on the screen chat. You'll see them on the display here. Otherwise, if you're in the Zoom rooms, you can please raise your hand whenever you feel like.
Are we currently kind of?
No.
We currently don't have any questions.
No
Okay.
questions in the audience at the moment, but that's why I'm doing the reminder. But Chris,
Okay.
so you had your first big experience with Super Show backing Bob Dunn,
Mhm.
a legend in his own right. How did you feel like he explained? Was he one of the ones that explained the game?
Well, Bob was the one that kind of showed me how the game worked, and of course, just like always, they kind of show you what it's like to win your first match. So, but as things went along, he was like, I started asking questions because I come from a Magic the Gathering background, and that's actually the only card game that I really played. So I he just kind of knew that I would kind of pick up on at least the card part of it, because the dice are a whole different monster. But yeah, so he taught me how to play. First, he was the first one that kind of showed me the game, and then of course, like, he kind of held my hand that weekend, because we were playing. I was playing. What's her name? Where you roll strike and she gets to play another card that turn. My mind's blanking. I can't remember.
Oh, you were playing
Jupiter. I was playing Jupiter, and we tagged up. And but yeah, it was just after that. I just kind of stuck by Bob's side. He just kind of was telling me things here and there that I needed to know. I would ask him questions about the cards, and what I needed, what kind of my style was, because I'm more of like a red player. I just like to burn people down really fast if I can. But I kind of figured out in this player, I'm more of a control. In this game, I'm more of a control. As you guys know, like, I play General Lee a lot. I try to keep y'all's hands small so you can't mess with me. But yeah, so he's obviously like a huge pillar in my life with this game. Like, he's missed very dearly. I miss him a lot.
Once again, we said it earlier on the show. We do wish him the speedy recovery, or speedier than it's already going, because he's already showing more signs of life than he was very young. So we still wish him maybe a Christmas game. Okay. So after that experience, you jumped in head first into playing, and I know it hasn't been always the best experience. You've had your definitely had some ups, definitely had some downs. So, my biggest question is, what do you think is your biggest achievement since starting?
Minus the belt that I'm about to create?
Yeah.
I hit. I got to get into the finals with P1. And if it weren't for a couple of misplays that I did, that I really like, I just held on to cards longer than I should have, or and stuff like that. But I think getting into Top Cut and playing against him and taking him like all the way down to the point to where he was just like sweating and thinking about like what he needed to do, because he told me, he's like, bro, you had me. You just this is how you should have played it, and him and Bob both. But just beating all the people that are really good at this game, because whenever you I beat P1 in that bird cage. I put him out, but I 1-1, like head to head, I don't think I've beat him yet. So but I think that's my biggest achievement really, is just getting there and doing that. I've made Top Cut a few times, but I don't know what it is, man. My dice just die as soon as I get in.
I know you were talking about using. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Beating John P is definitely one of the bigger achievements, seen as if Bob Dunn is one of the pillars of the community, then John P is definitely another one of those pillars.
Yeah.
Player of the era, quote unquote. Potential player of the year most years, but we'll never get that because player of era. And just all around head of the table, as he puts it himself. So anytime you can get a win, even if it's in a bird cage against him, is something to do. So good job.
And sometimes they even give out like bounties, so
well, the current bounty was whoever beats him gets a shot at the tri-state title. But are you in the tri-state region? Exactly.
No, I'm in.
No.
Yeah.
The boss will give you something else. He'll throw cards you.
We're deep south.
You were gonna ask me something earlier about playing something.
Oh yeah, me. What I was going to ask you is, you were kind of mentioning using, I think you said General Lee earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Now you were saying about your hand, you like destroying the hand size. Is that one of your main strategies that competitor wise you like, or have you kind of found some more likings?
It's done me well so far. I say if I played 20 matches with General Lee, I probably won 15 with him. He's really good. But you meet your match with someone like Bob Dunn in the CAC. I played against him in the CAC whenever we went to Massachusetts, and he just didn't throw stops. He was just like, I'm not gonna throw stops, so I'm not gonna bury cards, And he only threw stops when he absolutely needed to, like finishers and stuff. And I was like, God, I hate you. Why you do this to me, man?
Bob is probably, like, without a doubt, and I don't know, and this is being honest, out of 50 or 100 games I've had with Bob in tournaments, I don't know who's up on each other, but we talk all the time about, like, we need a whole thing of Advil by the time we get done, because me and him, we're sweating, we've got headaches, we're just ready to end these matches. I always have it's a thrill to play him, though. Because it's always crowd mirror 3, 4, or 5.
I beat Bob playing Witch Hunter General, which is another another Barry guy. But I think I had Bob down to like 0 cards for about 3 or 4 turns that game, and he was just like, just throw it, dude, just throw it, just throw whatever you want.
Bob definitely does not like the hand destruction.
Yeah, he does not.
And the hand construction, I actually liked. The General was actually one that I liked really well too. What did you row your 8 grapple? and they randomly bury. I love that one. Which I have my True American guy as well. I love making them discard. So I see a little thing in common we got there.
I mean, if you get started out really early, especially like I do, with the berry stops. Like I'll start out a game and aggressively throw a berry stop right at the start of the game to drop you down to 2 cards. You know what I'm saying? Like I may not be able to stop a card, but you only have 2 in your hand. And if I win the next couple of turn rolls, I can get you down to 0 pretty quick, like just by throwing like a stop a lead, you'll have to, each player buries a card. Like I have to bury a card too, but I'm looking at my hand like I know what I'm going to do next though. So, but you throw the lead one. And then if you have the ones that like, if you have another lead in play, you just draw 2 cards and you can just build up your hand while you're lowering theirs. It's really fun, but if you ever get to where the point to where they're like a gimmick where they're drawing cards, then you're just like, all right, I can't play my game now. I got to play against what they're playing. I can't
see. You mentioned the drawing of your opponent. I used to I used to be nicknamed King of Count Out because I used to count out like all the time using my GPS character. Well, when I made the TAG, I wanted to be opposite. Like I like to win by count out. Well, TAG likes to just destroy your hand. Of course, he makes you discard. But in a way, making TAG kind of hurt myself because I'm usually helping my opponent count out me.
Right.
But of course, now you've got cards like the rejected and stuff like that. At least bring cards back. But
yeah, and of course that's a whole different conversation.
Oh yeah. What are some kind of, I know, talking about matches and stuff like that, what are some of the stipulations you like? Have you grown to like?
Man, I'm not a huge fan of stipulations, period. Matter of fact, everyone in the whole LFF probably knows by now that if it's Ring of Fire, I'll probably just like, you win. Like I haven't won a single Ring of Fire yet. I haven't even been close. Everyone else knows how to play them. They basically just, see, like Aaron's like, Bridges loves Ring of Fire. I do not. I hate it. But I thought that I was gonna have like a decent time playing like the Birdcage, but it got to the point to where, even when you're playing a triad match, like you still have another person in there that can win the role, so you're just sitting there watching 2 other people play. And I hate that. Like, it's why I don't play Search and Destroy on Call of Duty that much, because I don't like dying and watching everybody else play for another 30 seconds to a minute. You know what I'm saying? So but the stipulations they're cool. I understand why they're there. But the Ring of Fire is just the one that me and I just got to figure out a way through. But I haven't really played that many stips because, like I said, I don't make it the top cut enough. I don't make it in the top cut a lot to play the stips part of it. So, I think I played a cage match, 1 time or 2 times, and then, yeah, I think that's it. Like, I've only played the cage and then the Ring of Fire.
Now you was talking about the Birdcage as well. Now, are you planning on coming to Grand Gathering 3?
See, it just depends because I mean most of the probably at least my close friends on here are the close knit people that I talk to. My wife has been having some problems with her back, so I did tell her that if I get to go to an event, then that's the one I'm going to go to. I'm going to go to Grand Gathering because that's going to be the big one. Obviously I'll be at Huntsville, and then Atlanta's super close. So like next year I'm going to try to, or whichever the event's there next, I'm going to try to go to that because it's close. But Grand Gathering is, I'm gonna try to be there. That's gonna be the big one. That's gonna be the hype one. So
The reason I mentioned it because you were talking about like kind of not liking the birdcage, which I can relate. I'm not very fond of them either. Is the grand battle that is the main thing there, and it's unreal.
I'm actually excited
just
about
playing
that.
in it from
I'm excited about it.
Grand Gathering 1. I maybe got 2 turns because there's so many finishes. Like anything like over the top cards like that are finishes also. It's just it's quick.
Yeah, I just want to be there for it. Like I just want to be there to be a part of it. Like with stuff like that, like even with a birdcage, I didn't go in with the mentality of I'm gonna win this because there's so many chances of not being able to. But
going
because
in with a positive attitude makes it that way.
It does. You know how I get. Especially whenever I'm rolling 5s every time. It just like I don't know why I haven't switched over to a 5 gimmick, or a 5 or a 6, because I mean I think I would probably end up winning the worlds if I did that. I you blank enough gimmicks, you just start winning. So, but
I don't think it matters. I can switch to a 5 gimmick and just roll roll a 6 though.
Yep. Or I'll start rolling
Yep.
10s and not get my gimmick.
So we're at the time where we start asking these rapid fire questions that are just always asked on Tell Us About It.
Sure.
And some of them you might know, some of them you might not know. So first one is pineapple or sheep?
Sheep. I don't like pineapple.
Horse or shark?
I'm gonna go with horse.
Okay. Most people choose Italian Bombata over Shaggy. The next one is Candyman Dan or Candyman?
Candyman. 100%. But love me some Candyman.
Most people prefer Candyman. And then
I wonder sometimes, not to cut you off, JB. I wonder sometimes if they watch this show and they actually tally against each other.
Yeah, don't get
Like,
me wrong.
"Oh."
Don't get me wrong. Like, so the reason why I say that is because I have a close relationship with Candyman. Like her and I talk a lot. But Dan is a robot. The guy knows this game. He knows the cards. He knows how to play, and he will tell me, "Hey, bro, this card that's in your deck is not good to be in your deck. Do this card instead." And then I'll put that card in there and it will make a difference. I listen to him. If he tells me to do something, I'm like, okay, I do that.
which is definitely one of those things of like, I love Candyman Dan for that because he is definitely a paint by numbers competitor. But by being a paint by numbers competitor, I never will see him. I'll see him top large things. I will never see him as the biggest player in it. Because it's just that one difference between being a paint by numbers and a person that can forge their own path.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that actually are going to be. I just read something.
Well said.
Talking about
Arcane Aaron asked, "What makes you such a lover of dad jokes?"
I'm a dad.
Yep.
Boom.
The basic answer: as soon as you become a father, you now love dad jokes, no matter what.
Yeah, actually, we had to go to my son's school thing today, and I can't remember. We were talking. They were talking about the fact that they every once in a while they'll let the kids watch a Paw Patrol, video at school, and she said it's very popular. And I leaned over to my wife and I was like, "It's very popular," and she was just like, "Oh my." And the woman just was like, she's like, "My husband does the same thing all the time."
All right, and we have a
Have a
question
thing.
from the doc.
Mikey, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Oh, what's up, though, Mr. Chris Bridges?
What's up, Dark Prince?
Not much, man. Not much. So my question is to you, sir. If you were in any wrestling company and you were able to grab their tag titles, who would you bring with you, and which tag team title belt would you go after, and what company?
I'm gonna go ECW and New Jack. Because if I was in ECW, there's not many more hardcore people than New Jack was.
Okay.
Oh man, and that's what I'd probably go. I'd probably do tag team titles and make it as just hardcore as possible.
And my one more simple question to you, sir. If you had a chance to play any other comparator, any other ones besides the ones you just mentioned, which one would you be more attached to play in the near future?
You know what? I was gonna hold off and not tell anybody, but I'm gonna play myself.
This just in, Chris Bridges is gonna be in the game.
I was gonna hold off and wait, let it be a secret, but
it's never gonna be a secret after it shows up on Expanding the Universe.
Well, that's whenever I was gonna tell everybody was Expanding the Universe, but I was like, you know what? I've been trying to think of some stuff, and I've been wanting to like, you know, ask people about, you know, some stuff like ideas on, you know, the gimmick and stuff like that. So I was like, man, I can't ask everybody because I'm trying to keep it a secret. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell them today. I'll tell everybody on the show. So.
All right, well, that's all from me.
Thanks, buddy. Guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Mikey.
Yep. No problem.
Good.
And we also have a question from Aaron.
Cool. Can I speak? Cool.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead.
What card do you hate being played against you the most, and why is it Circle of the Sun?
I actually, to be honest with you, I haven't seen Circle of the Sun hit yet on me. I've actually played against him, but Circle of the Sun never got hit. But if I'm probably what's the, not the Rejected or the Apocalypse, what's the other one again? Derailed. I don't like playing it, or I don't like playing against it, because usually every time I get hit with it, I have in my hand what I need, and whenever I use it, I don't get what I want, and that's just the circle of the bad there. I think the funniest card is Schoolboy, and I know you'll like that. I think it's hilarious, but just because of how much you play it.
Right.
It's a crutch.
Aaron both loves that and hates mine. But
Derailed tends to like really, it usually backfires on me. I usually have a good hand, but I have to use it.
Okay. Thank you once again for your question. So, Chris, getting back to previous mention, because you said that you didn't actually know modern wrestling, but you knew old school wrestling. Where did you, what was your original start in wrestling?
My first match, I went over to a friend of mine's house. I can't say it's my first match, but it's the first match that I remember pumping me up and getting me like wanting to watch. And I get this wrong every time I talk about it. There was it was the Big Show versus Hulk Hogan. And if I remember correctly, Hulk Hogan pushed the Big Show off the roof, or was it Hulk Hogan got pushed off the roof? And I can't remember which one it was.
This was during WCW.
Yeah, this was way back in the day, WCW.
I'm pretty sure it was Big Show got pushed.
Big Show, yeah, I think it was Big Show got pushed, and I saw that happen. And me knowing that wrestling, like is scripted and stuff, but like I was just like, dang, yo, that big dude falling off of a roof like that, it's got to make a splash somewhere. But it was pretty cool. I can't remember exactly what else happened in that card, but like that stood out to me, and I just started watching it from there. And then I accidentally stumbled into ECW, and then ECW is where my passion for wrestling really took off, just because like it was a different vibe, a completely different vibe.
So you're a hardcore.
Who was your top like star that you really focused on at the time?
ECW or WCW?
Let's say ECW, since that's where you said you got your passion.
Yeah.
ECW. ECW, New Jack was my dude, but like the Dudleys, I really enjoyed, and I mean, obviously Sabu was awesome, but the what's the guy's name? Tommy Dreamer. Dreamer was the dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was that guy. Every time he came out, I was like, somebody's about to get their butt kicked. Like this is about to happen. And
Tommy Dreamer was definitely more of that average Joe feel, with like Sandman feeling like the drunk redneck cannot be stopped by anything.
Yeah, he was the Stone Cold of the ECW. So WCW though, I was a huge fan of the DDP, that arc with him. I love Raven. I thought he was really cool, even though he's annoying, because he just talks about what about me, and I can't stand that. But I really like his character. But my biggest thing was Chris Jericho and Dean Malenko. That whole thing between them, where like they were fighting for each other's, like if I beat you, then you can't wrestle anymore. But technical wrestling was like some of the coolest part for me about watching WCW. I really enjoyed that part of it.
It's definitely something that's been lost in the shuffle of things for a long time. Good technical wrestling.
You don't get to see too much good technical wrestling anymore.
But that's why growing up in that generation was the best time for wrestling.
Mm-hmm. And but yeah, I enjoyed a lot of that. I guess one of my favorite matches from the ECW side was when Taz left to go to the WWF. He beat the franchise, and then they left the title vacated. Whenever he beat the franchise, and then he retired, he left the ECW. So it was really, really awesome to watch that. Everything was emotional and all that stuff. So it was just really cool to see.
Well, I liked his made-up belt that he made for himself, though. It just, the angle and everything, it was just...
Yeah.
It kind of makes me want to do that in Super Show.
Just make a belt.
Yeah, just make up a belt.
That group of people was some of the best technical wrestlers of their time. Most of them. And they did always go all out. Maybe sometimes a little too far out. But they always put on a show for the people. And that's another question that I want to ask. If you could cherry pick one wrestler that you would love to see in the game, if you could make it happen, what?
Well, if it ever happens, I mean, Raven is supposed to be coming in, question mark?
Maybe, potentially, someday. I mean, he's in the works, but outside of people that are already in or in the works, what would you like?
Oh, man. I think it would be cool for the whole concept, just because I know he's going to have a Barry gimmick. The Undertaker.
Undertaker.
I
That
think
is
it'd be
definitely
cool.
a name that we would love to get into the game, but no chance in hell.
No, I mean no chance. But I'm just you asked, and I'll deliver. So just
The
I
closest
mean,
will ever come.
yeah.
The closest will ever come is Rob Graves.
I mean, Rob Graves isn't even that good of a like. We have what's his name? The one that blanks gimmicks. He has more of Undertaker's moves in his set.
Night Terror.
Night Terror, yeah.
Yep.
Night Terror has old school. That's one of his finishers.
Mm-hmm. All right. And do we have any questions, Jimmy?
Well, we got a question for me. Aaron, you can play for whatever competitor you want as long as there's more than 3 in stock. But as long as they are on the website and in more than quantities of 3, you can most definitely play for them. I cannot guarantee they'll go down much, especially if they're too expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're in our last
I-
couple of minutes, so if anyone has any extra questions they would like to get in, now is the time.
You was talking about ECW and stuff like that, which I was happy to get Sabu in this game, and I know we were so close to getting Tommy Dreamer back then. I would have loved to see him if it would have worked out, because we were supposed to have. It's been 2 or 3 years ago. It would have been Sabu and Tommy Dreamer. It was supposed to be a set. If you look at Crash and Burn, and I think there's a 19, a 21, and a 20. I know 20 is Crash and Burn. It looks just like Tommy Dreamer, and that's what the cards were supposed to be like.
Yeah, I pointed that out one day. I was like, that looks like Tommy Dreamer. And they're like, that is Tommy Dreamer. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, but it's not Tommy Dreamer.
So close.
It's like, it is Tommy, but it's
so
not.
close. And then you got RVD. I was happy to see him get into Super Show.
I left him out. I didn't mean to. Rob Van Dam, like, literally was one of the guys. Like, he was one of the guys that, like, whenever he came out, you knew he was the technical wrestler of the ECW. That guy just, like, whenever it came out, it was gonna happen, dude. And the RVD made it happen. Him versus Sabu was just nuts watching matches against him versus Sabu, because they're both just like all over the ring, just pew, 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 pew. So it's that guy's he's a talent, man. So good.
Okay. Generally Long has the question: if you had to pick a tag team, the Steiners or the Road Warriors?
I'm gonna go with the Road Warriors, man. I like their gear a lot better. The Steiners were a little bit whiny later on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't really a fan of the whole.
I mean, you take them both at their prime, because you don't take the Road Warriors that had Heidi right in. Granted, you don't even know that of them.
Well, I mean, if I had to go in prime, man, I'd probably go Steiners, actually. But I mean, I was a huge fan of just the Road Warriors look compared to what the Steiners look like.
Oh, yeah. But
iconic look. I'm gonna go with look Warriors, straight up tag team. I'm gonna go the Steiners.
Oh. So to answer your question, generally wrong, both.
Both.
Because
I like them both for different reasons. Why not?
Dog-faced Gremlin versus what a rush. I mean,
yeah,
the
I can understand the look.
Was definitely Road Warriors. Alrighty. Well, we are at that point where we flip one last question, and then we flip the script. Huskus the cow or Willow the wolf? These are stuffed animals of Edo.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh boy. The cow
Huskus the cow.
because
Makes
I like burgers.
Yeah,
Makes
that
is
Can't eat a
usually
wolf.
that is usually the answer that people give. Alright. But Chris, now we flip the script. You get the chance to ask us one question each of anything you would like to know.
Hmm.
Nothing is off the table. Okay, that's off the table, but nothing else is off the table.
Yeah, it put me on the spot. Like I was telling Dustin, I'm usually not good at coming up with stuff off the top of my head. It's got to be
Dustin,
like
you're supposed to let him know that he has this option. Everyone's supposed to know that if they get on the show, they get to ask us each a question. This is why we
let's
can't have
see.
nice.
So, if you were forced to play in any sport, Chibi, what would it be?
I was forced to play in any sport.
Forced to play. Well, let's say that you like. I say that because I don't know if you're the type of guy who actually likes sports or not. So if you don't like sports, but you were told that you had to play the sport, which sport would
If
you
I
go?
had to play in a sport at gunpoint, sure, I will
Yep.
play bowling.
yes.
Matter of fact, I went bowling the other day and my wrist still hurts from it, bro. I'm terrible. I'm the worst bowler. But I did bowl the best game of my life at a 149. That is the best I've ever bowled. So 145. I lied. 145.
Okay. I mean, generally Wong, I know, likes to bowl, and his daughter, Mac averages more than that because Mac is a machine.
Yeah.
Mac is freaking ridiculous.
I mean, I could say the same that LeBron averages more points than me when I play basketball. If you're good at something, you're going to be better at somebody else.
I
average more wins. I average more wins.
But it's something that I could do if I was forced to play a sport. Because why take hits?
Yeah. Dustin, let's see. If you had to eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? PG answers.
PG. Yeah.
I love how you said that.
I mean, I love that you put PG, but I mean, this is my channel.
Go for it then.
Oh man, if I had to eat it for the rest of my life, one choice, I gotta say burgers. I want to say steak and I want to say chicken, but I think I would get so burned out of it. I know.
So you
it's a hard choice.
Chicken salad, or you take a chicken Caesar salad, and you can always change it up like that.
Well, I mean, I guess in that sense, you could, you could actually change the different types of what the burger is, but like you only have like so many different wings and so many different. Yeah. So.
That's why I said burgers, because I'm thinking of the sauces and stuff you could just mix.
I used to eat burgers all the time. Now I can barely stomach burgers.
I literally don't remember. Oh, I did actually ate a burger recently, but it was a small one. But before that, I don't remember the last time I ate one. Like I can't eat that much anymore. So
2 for Huskus. Yeah, no, no one wants to eat Huskus the cow burger.
Yeah.
No. Too rotten.
In before at Grand Gathering, get your Huskus the cow burger.
Ito's gonna have a stand.
No one wants to eat a Mr. Beast burger. They're fake burgers made in Shadow Kitchen.
We actually have burgers here in Russellville, where I'm from. Actually called Beast, and they're you can get them. You can get as many patties as you want. Firemen used to come into this little shop, and they were telling, "Hey, you don't make big enough burgers." So the company actually made it where you can add. It's like $1.50 per patty. But you can actually. They have the Beast. Probably the biggest is like a Beast 4, and it takes about 4 or 5 people to eat it.
My goodness.
You have to cut it. You have to cut it up. But they come out like a 12-ounce steak. like these patties are big, and I think I got the Beast 2 one time, and it's like three 12-ounce beef patties.
If I remember correctly, while I was up in Colorado Springs last year, I saw that Mr. Beast had a Mr. Beast burger place up there, but I didn't try to mess with it. I just don't trust it. The guy's a YouTube guy, not a burger dude. So,
I mean, it's shadow kitchens. All they are is they get other restaurants to actually make the burgers, and they're just the normal buy at your supermarket burger.
yeah. Wahlburger's overrated. The one here in Huntsville got like completely smashed. Like we went to go eat there, and it was just like, this is just a burger. Bye.
That's what all burgers should be. If you go, this is not a burger, this is amazing, then you're not having a burger, you're having something else.
Yeah. It's just a burger.
But Mr. Bridges, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for answering our crazy questions. Thank you for letting us know a little bit more about it.
Sure. I enjoyed it.
Ow. And while I recover from this headache, Dustin, what do we got next week?
All right. Next week is our special guest is going to be Matt Brown. Also, if you've seen my post the other day, December the 27th, we are actually going to have pro wrestling superstar Anthony Gangone on the show. Looking forward to that. Futuristic wise, I just want to say that I'm going to try to, at least they can say is no. I am going to try to work and get, more wrestlers and stuff like that are in the game and other people on the show. Bridges, I just want to say, hey, it's a pleasure having you on here, man. And I just want to say deep down, bottom of my heart, I appreciate what you're doing, the tournaments and the title and everything that's going on. And in life, I kind of put veterans and I put also children above the rest, because I always say children are the future, and we don't have a future unless it's defended by soldiers. So I applaud you, sir.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. And I agree with you, at least on the on the veterans part of it. Just kidding. The I just want to say, I just want to plug real quick and say, so everybody can sign up for this tournament. Even you and you and you that are asking yourself, even me, yes, you can. And yes, everybody can sign up. It's $5. It's on the site right now. It is Saturday, December 10th at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And the top prize is a champion of Kickstarter, amongst the other stuff that you get for being in Top Cut and stuff. The highest ranking veteran, whether it be, if there's one person that plays and you're a veteran, then you get the title shot. Even if you lose the first round and you go out first before everybody else, whoever the highest ranking veteran is gets the title shot. It's going to be pods like normal. It's going to be a random Top Cut stip, and I haven't decided on what stips they are yet, but it's only going to be like 4 or 5 of them. I'm not going to do like all of them. But each different match is going to be random. That way everybody could just have a good old time and it'll be fun. So but main event for the finals, and I want to be a jerk and
freeze right at the end
and stop, or I want to be a jerk and book like New Alien and all of that stuff, but I'm just gonna say 2020 like normal. And if you go undefeated in your pod, you can turn off the stip or choose a matchup for yourself that you want to play. Like if I wanted to play Dustin specifically, I would play him. Or you can choose 2 people that you want to play each other. You're like, that guy and that guy are my biggest threats. You can choose them to play each other to let them fight it out. And then everything else will just kind of have to, we'll just put each other up on how it's going to be done. And I thought that was actually pretty funny from the last one. It ended up being me and Mark Perry play each other, but that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Sign up, be there on Saturday. Y'all leave Lauren alone, let her do her business, and we'll get it done and over with, and we'll be fun.
Last time that's
I was actually
Saturday.
scared.
You do this every single time. But just to repeat it, this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, correct?
8 Eastern, 7 Central. $5.
$5 and
The belt is completely funded. We had a hiccup with one of the plates, but so I had to chip in a little bit more money, and then we're gonna get the card created too, for it. So it's completely funded, and this money doesn't actually go towards the belt. It's actually goes, for the site and everything like that. That's why
Awesome.
the prize pool's so big. So
even bigger prize support. $125 value champion of Kickstarter for first place. Dustin, your last one.
I was actually, when you said you were gonna be a jerk, I thought you were gonna say main event Ring of Fire, but just playing.
yeah, no thank
But
you.
I'd like. But that's all I've got to say. I just want to say thank you again, buddy. It was a pleasure.
No problem. Anytime.
Can I get a bye, man?
Bye, man.
I'll see you later.